Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, Board of Investment Chairman Arjuna Herath claims that high construction and energy costs are discouraging hotel investors in Sri Lanka and reducing possible returns. After a discussion between the Transport Division team and the Minister of Ports and Civil Aviation, the Asian Development Bank reaffirmed its commitment to developing Sri Lanka's port industry. Today's session on the Colombo stock market was uneventful as the ASPI and S&P SL20 ended the day in different positions, while the S&P SL20 closed the day marginally lower. And following the failure of a meeting between Chinese President Xi Jinping and US President Donald Trump to yield tangible trade progress, Asian stocks gave up their early gains.
From Studio 24C, here's Anuradhi Vikramasinghe.
Good evening and welcome to the Nightly Business Report on Derana News Channel. High construction and energy costs are determining hotel investors in Sri Lanka, lowering potential returns, according to Board of Investment Chairman Arjuna Herath. He emphasized that addressing these cost challenges is crucial to attract more foreign and local investment in the hospitality sector.
He noted that despite these challenges, a fair amount of investment continues to flow into the industry. Sri Lanka's building material costs remain high due to import protection on steel, tiles and other materials. A policy expanded during the Rajapaksa administrations. Studies indicate that these protective measures have inflated construction costs for both businesses and ordinary wage earners. Herath said the stakeholder concerns have been communicated to the Minister of Finance, which is reviewing tax structures across affected industries. The government also is committed to reducing energy costs by encouraging lower-cost generation methods. Renewable energy investments are expected to become a key focus for investors in the near future.
The 27th Presidential Export Awards ceremony organised by the Sri Lanka Export Development Board will be held on the 11th of December at the Bandaranaike Memorial International Conference Hall under the patronage of President Anurakumara Dissanayake. The awards recognise Sri Lankan exporters who have significantly contributed to the country's export sector and overall economic development. This year, 66 awards will be presented, including 15 overall awards and 51 product and service sectoral awards, with additional merit awards for outstanding performance. A distinguished panel of judges headed by a retired Supreme Court judge selected the winners after evaluation by a technical committee, with Ernst & Young serving as the ceremony's knowledge partner. The ceremony reflects the government's focus on expanding exports through market and product diversification, innovation, sustainability and value addition. The Asian Development Bank has reiterated its commitment to advancing Sri Lanka's port sector following a meeting between its Transport Division team and the country's Minister of Ports and Civil Aviation, Anura Tilaka, along with Deputy Minister Janith Ruwan Kodituwakku at the Ministry office yesterday.
ADB Country Director for Sri Lanka Takafumi Kadono highlighted the bank's long history of supporting Sri Lanka's port and transport projects, noting collaboration since 1970s. He cited key initiatives including the second phase of the Western Container Terminal and the updating of the National Ports Master Plan. Kadono congratulated Minister Anura Tilaka on his new role and reaffirmed ADB's commitment to providing both financial and technical support for maritime and transport development. Minister Tilaka expressed gratitude for ADB's continued partnership and also contributions to enhancing the country's port and transport infrastructure. He emphasized the government's intention to strengthen cooperation with the ADB in the coming years.
Let's take a short commercial break. You're watching the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. The Colombo stock market experienced a mixed session today, with both the ASPI and S&P SL20 closing in varied territory. The all-share price index recorded a notable gain, signalling investor optimism, while the S&P SL20 ended the day slightly lower. For further insights on this, we have Manu Chakandanarachi from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo Stock Exchange witnessed a volatile trading session, with the all-share price index showing significant fluctuations before closing the day in positive territory at 22,840 points, up by 62 points. In contrast, the S&P SL20 index ended the session lower at 6,200, shedding 11 points as well. Key positive contributors to the market's performance included Selinco Insurance, Colombo Dockyard, Singer Sri Lanka, Cargill Ceylon and Diesel and Motor Engineering plc. While retail investor participation remained subdued, activity from high net worth investors was relatively strong. Total market turnover reached 7.8 billion rupees, marking a 4% increase compared to the monthly average of 7.5 billion rupees as well. The capital goods sector led today's turnover, accounting for 22% of the total, while the insurance and retailing sectors together contributed around 28%. The top three price gainers of the day were Mercantile Shipping Company PLC, York Arcade and Myland Development, whereas the main losers of the day were Office Equipment PLC, Printcare and Test Agro. Thank you.
Sri Lanka's government reports fiscal performance for the first 9 months, highlighting revenue, expenditure and budget trends. The report provides insights into public finances, debt management and economic stability measures. For further insights on this, we have Ranjan Ranatunga from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Minister of Finance, on his monthly fiscal review, published the government fiscal performance for the first 9 months of 2025. The government revenue for the first 9 months increased by 31% year-over-year to 3.8 trillion rupees, with tax revenues increasing by 32% year-over-year to 3.5 trillion rupees. The growth in tax revenues was mainly supported by the three revenue collection agencies of Inland Revenue Department, the Customs and the Excise Department, which recorded a revenue of 1.6 trillion rupees, 1.7 trillion rupees and 168 billion rupees respectively for the first 9 months. Meanwhile, the total government expenditure for the first 9 months also recorded an increase of 9.7% to 4.2 trillion rupees, with recurrent expenditure increasing by 11.2% year-over-year to 3.8 trillion rupees. Meanwhile, on the capital expenditure front, government capital expenditure fell marginally by 1.7% year-over-year to 455 billion rupees for the first 9 months. Considering the surge in revenue outpacing the growth in expenditure, the budget deficit for the first 9 months declined to 441 billion rupees, showing a contraction of 54.5% year-over-year compared to last year. Thank you.
Gold prices inched higher today, supported by a slight pullback in the US dollar. Investors remain cautious ahead of potential trade negotiations between US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. Spot gold rose 0.2% to $3,937.88 per ounce. Meanwhile, US gold futures for December delivery slipped 1.2% to $3,950.70 per ounce. The dollar index fell 0.2% after hitting a 2-week high against other major currencies in the previous session. A weaker dollar generally makes gold cheaper for holders of other currencies, supporting demand. Market participants are closely watching developments in US-China trade talks for potential impacts on gold prices. Oil prices remained steady today after US President Donald Trump announced a tariff cut on China from 57% to 47% following his meeting with President Xi Jinping in South Korea. The move signaled easing tensions that had clouded the global economic growth outlook. Brent crude futures fell 0.46% to $64.62 a barrel. US West Texas Intermediate crude futures dropped 0.51% to $60.17 after climbing 33 cents the previous day. Trump's agreement included Beijing resuming US soybean purchases, keeping rare earth exports flowing and cracking down on illicit fentanyl trade. Sugandha Sachdeva, the founder of SS Wealth Street, said the deal could bolster market confidence, stimulate global energy demand and support oil prices. It was added that as long as Brent crude held key support levels of $60 and $58 per barrel, short-term recovery potential remained. The Sri Lankan rupee edged slightly lower against the US dollar today compared to yesterday. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, the buying rate of the US dollar rose from 300 rupees and 45 cents to 300 rupees and 69 cents. Meanwhile, the selling rate also increased from 307 rupees and 94 cents to 308 rupees and 20 cents. Let's take a closer look now at how the Sri Lankan rupee is performing against other major global currencies. Let's take a short commercial break. You're watching the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. David Pierce Automobiles Private Limited, the four-wheeler division of the David Pierce Group, has announced a strategic partnership with global automotive giant GWM to bring hybrid and new energy vehicles to Sri Lanka.
The partnership between David Pierce Automobiles Limited and GWM marks a major milestone in Sri Lanka's automotive landscape. It combines GWM's global engineering expertise present in over 100 countries with DP's 40-year legacy of trust and accessibility. Through this collaboration, Sri Lankan consumers will have access to complete range of hybrid, plug-in hybrid and fully electric vehicles. These vehicles are designed to offer advanced technology, superior performance and everyday practicality. GWM's Haval H6 range, which boasts a 5-star ANCAP safety rating in Australia, underscores the brand's commitment to safety and reliability. The partnership aims to redefine sustainable mobility in Sri Lanka by providing eco-friendly alternatives without compromising power or comfort. Embodying GWM's global brand philosophy, Go With More, the initiative invites Sri Lankan drivers to embrace a smarter, more connected and efficient driving future.
Derana, Sri Lanka, in collaboration with the Ministry of Industry and Entrepreneurship Development, conducted a specialized training session under the National Relationship Officer Program to strengthen SME support across the country. The initiative aims to enhance the capabilities of field-level development officers, transforming them into relationship officers equipped to guide small and medium-sized enterprises effectively. Designed and delivered by Derana, Sri Lanka, the training focused on helping officers support SMEs in building a strong online presence and leveraging e-commerce platforms. The first session was held at the Sri Lanka Institute of Management in Colombo with 53 field officers participating from various regions. Polish airline Enter Air will begin regular charter flights from Warsaw to Colombo's Bandaranaike International Airport today, becoming the fourth airline to start operations to Sri Lanka this week.
Airport and Aviation Services Private Limited announced that Enter Air will operate charter flights from Warsaw to Bandaranaike International Airport every 10 days on Thursdays and Sundays until mid-April 2026. This schedule coincides with Sri Lanka's peak tourism season. Earlier this week, Swiss holiday airline Edelweiss, Belarusian national carrier Belevia, and Russian airline Red Wings also commenced flights to the country. Enter Air and Edelweiss will operate flights to Bandaranaike International Airport, while Belevia and Red Wings will fly to Mattala International Airport in Hambantota. The arrival of these airlines highlights growing international interest in Sri Lanka as a tourist destination. All flights have been launched to meet high demand during the winter travel season from mid-November to March. Authorities expect this influx of tourists boost the country's tourism and hospitality sectors significantly.
Laughs Power PLC, a subsidiary of the Laughs Group, has launched Sri Lanka's first AI-enabled annual report in collaboration with Futurity Limited. The platform allows stakeholders to interact with the company's recent annual reports using natural language AI, providing fast access to financial insights, operational highlights, and performance data. Custom dashboards visualize key metrics, making corporate data more transparent and easier to interpret. The AI-enabled report marks a milestone for the energy sector, setting a new benchmark for interactive and accessible shareholder communication. This initiative is part of a broader AI adoption strategy by the Laughs Group to enhance competitiveness, transparency, and suitable growth. Ideal Motors, the authorized distributor for Mahindra vehicles in Sri Lanka, unveiled the latest Mahindra pickup single cab and double cab models at the Ceylon Motor Show held at the BMICH in Colombo.
The new Mahindra pickup models offered powerful 100cc engines and advanced features, including dual air condition, dual airbags, and a multi-function steering wheel with a 4x4 technology. Ideal Motors announced that the first group of buyers will receive special discounts along with a 3-year 100,000-kilometer comprehensive warranty. The vehicles are available in white, black, and silver with both manual and automatic transmission options. Suitable for both commercial use and family transport, the new pickup range drew strong attention at Ceylon Motor Show. Ideal Motors has built a reputation over 16 years as a trusted name in Sri Lanka's automotive industry. The company also assembles Mahindra vehicles locally through Mahindra Ideal Lanka, strengthening its contribution to the national economy. With a wide island-wide service and spare parts network, Ideal Motors continues to provide exceptional after-sales support to the customers across the country.
DFCC Bank, through its women-focused initiative DFCC Aloka, partnered with Evolution Auto at the Green Wheels Carnival in Jaffna to support aspiring women entrepreneurs. The event launched the Mahindra Treo Pink Edition, providing women in the Northern Province access to sustainable livelihoods in passenger transport. By combining inclusive finance with green mobility, the program promotes both social empowerment and environmental responsibility. DFCC Aloka offered tailored financial solutions, advisory services, and awareness building for women-led enterprises during the two-day carnival. The initiative also highlighted the importance of accessible finance in enabling entrepreneurial growth and community development. Shera Hassan, the VP of DFCC Bank, emphasized that the partnership empowers women to build sustainable livelihoods while benefiting their families and communities. We're going in for a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Asian shares gave up early gains after a meeting between US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping failed to provide clear trade progress. Investors shifted to focus of the Bank of Japan's rate decision and the Federal Reserve's cautious signals on future rate cuts. The BOJ held its short-term interest rate at 0.5% in line with expectations, while noting that future hikes depend on economic conditions. Japan's Nikkei 225 slipped 0.1% after earlier hitting a record high of 51,638 points, while the broader topics index remained 0.6% higher. China's CSI 300 and Shanghai Composite indices each fell 0.2%, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index trickled down 0.1%. South Korea's Kospi trimmed gains to 0.3% after surging as much as 1.2% earlier in the session. Volkswagen posts $1.52 billion in third-quarter loss hit by U.S. tariffs and Porsche EV strategy shift. Investors reacted cautiously as the company outlined plans to stabilize operations and accelerate its electric vehicle transition.
Volkswagen made a $1.52 billion operating loss in the third quarter. It was hit by billions of dollars in costs from U.S. tariffs, as well as a costly strategy reversal on electric vehicles at its subsidiary Porsche. The result was down from a $3.25 billion operating profit for the group a year earlier. VW is under pressure to adapt to higher US import tariffs expected to cost the group up to $5.8 billion this year. Europe's top car maker has had to trim its outlook 3 times in 2025. Firstly, to absorb the impact of US President Donald Trump's trade war, and more recently following a course correction at Porsche, which also slid deep into the red in the third quarter. Volkswagen CEO Oliver Blume also serves as CEO of Porsche, but he will hand over the reins at the luxury brand at the turn of the year, keeping his job at the helm of the parent company only. Investors had increasingly called into question his ability to lead the two companies at a time of major challenges for both.
Thank you for watching the Nightly Business Report on Other Derana News channel. We value your opinion, so please share your thoughts and feedback with us through email at feedback.adncenglish@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 076-805-7933. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest updates in the business globe. Vinod Varnasurya will join you next with Other Derana Sports Central. Until then, I'm Anuradha Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.